Hello everybody. I'm trying to go live here and I'm not sure if it's working or not. I assume so. I'm going to wait for a second. Okay, here we go. Hello everybody. This is Arlene Zomer from the Carver's Wood Shop. We're going to be doing this particular item today called the Sitting Snowman. And hello Rich. So let's get started with this. I started with a block that is 1.5 by 1.5 by 2.5 inches tall, and I tapered it a little bit from halfway up all the way to the end. And let's see here. Okay. Well, anyway, so this is what this is what we're going to be working on today. I already drew the pattern on, and we'll take it from there. All right, so let's see what we can do. Let me bring in one of my other knives here. All right, so what you want to do is take your pencil and you're going to do the top part of the hat. We're going to keep that in space there. We're going to go to the top of the hat there and go down and around, and then that will be the brim of the hat. And you want to go all the way down, and you want to go down to the back portion and put your lines on. I didn't finish the lines on this side, so let me do that real quick. All right, let me see if I can do that from here. Kind of hard to do it through the camera, but I'll try here. And I have it turning up a little bit there. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to cut the very top of where the nose is, or where the carrot's supposed to be on this. We're going to just notch it out. And just notch it out a bit. There we go. I'll notch the top out as well. And I'll do each corner the same way. I'll just put a little notch in there. A little notch at the top of the brim of the hat. And one in the back. Okay, I'm going to hang on just a second. I'm going to go get the sprayer for a second and spray it. That wood's a little harder than I thought. So hang on just a second. I'll be right back. All right, now I do see people coming into the, but if you're asking any questions, I won't see it right away because only 3 or 4 people show up on the news feed here. I can tell how many people are on, but I can't tell how many questions are being done. So if you want to ask a question, you can try it. So here we go. So I'm going to get a little, I use a little V tool. I think this is the one I use. I'm not sure if it's this one or the other one. One's better than the other for some reason. What we're going to do is we're going to follow these lines all the way around. So let's just pop that one out. All right. Yes, I am. I have a new Rough Rider. Right there, that's a 5 blade. I actually sharpened 4 of these, and this is really good for really deep cuts, or you're doing a lot of heavy roughing out. So, but There we go. And we're going to do this one here yet. Whoops. For some reason, I can't switch my camera to the side, and I don't know why, to make it a wider picture. I don't understand why that is, but... Alright, so the next thing I usually do is I take my little V tool, and I'll follow the lines all the way down. Try to keep your hands out of the way. I don't have any gloves on, and I don't have any tape on my fingers. I can't find it. I don't know where I put it. But lately I've not been using it anyway. So here we go. So I'm just going to outline all this with... It's easier when you do it with a V tool and follow the line. I ended up buying some more Rough Rider knives. I like to try different ones that I find, or some of them were worth it, others were way too big, and you really don't know that until you buy them and bring them in and try to see if it can be a carving knife. But this one was pretty good. So let's see here. All right, I'm gonna try to, my camera has to go over a little further than I'm used to, so it's not the most comfortable way to carve, but we'll make do with it. Alright, so now I'm going to go down this way. I'm just following the outside of the hat right now. We'll see if we can finish this tonight. Alright, now this side looks like it's a little more than this side for the I'm going to see if I can put my... On this side, the eye doesn't look like it's out there a whole lot. So let me go ahead and see if we can go ahead and figure that out a little bit more. So what I do is I go back to these lines and I recut them deeper, and then I slice it out like this. Okay? That's how you do it. It's called a stop cut. If you're new to this, it's a stop cut. Hello. Oh, thank you, Richard. Hi, Lisa. No, the new one, this new one is not in the store yet. I only got 10 of these. I didn't know how many what price I should put on it, because there's 4 blades instead of 2 that I have to work on. But it definitely is a heftier knife, as you can see. It's a lot thicker than the other one. This one has 3, this one has 5, and I actually sharpened 4 of the 5. The larger one I don't bother with, it's too big. No, they're not in my store yet, Rich. They will be later on. But I have another one here I'm just started to sharpen. It's similar to the smaller one I had, but it is really, I like the color of it. It's a blue one. I'll show you that all later, a little bit later on. I just need to get going on this here. Hi Jen, hi Jack. Nice that you joined me today. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving up there in Canada, and all my friends in Canada, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I was supposed to be up there, but something happened and I couldn't go up. So I ended up staying home. And I'll have to make another trip another time. So what you want to do is start getting this cap or this brim out. Because if you look at this, it's going to go slope down, and you can see how far I have to put it in there at the top here. All right, so let's just keep on going with it. So the next thing I do is once I do all this first cut that I do, and I go back and do some other ones here. So, yeah, it's been a while since I've been on here. I know it's people have asked if I was going to do this again sometime, and I thought, yeah, now it's a good time to start again. So, okay, we're going to turn that sideways so we can see what we're doing. Now, at the top here, what I usually do is it goes in a little bit at the top. So I'm going to go a little deeper in the corners here because we're going to, oh, I've got to do the top part here. Hang on just a second. There we go. And we'll pop this out. Yeah, it's been about, the last one I did was about, oh, let's see, October 2022. And I thought, well, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I was a little burned out. And that break I thought was going to be a month ended up being 3 years. I'm just starting to get back into things now. So, you know, I was really busy here on the farm repairing things and changing things up a little bit. So, yeah, hello, Mississippi. Hello, Jim. Yeah, if I miss you, it's not on purpose. I just don't see everybody that scrolls up because when new people come in, it goes away. And, yeah. So we're going to go in a little bit more here. That's a little thinner than I like. Oh, well, I'll make it a little thinner down here. That's all. Okay. So when you do this, let me take a look here. Once you're got your sides, and you're going to start cutting some out at an angle here. Okay. And same thing here. So just kind of. So, meanwhile, I'm going to start chopping a little bit more away from there, okay, because it's got to go in a little bit. So, and then we're going to go in a little deeper again. All right, so trying to think what we need to do next here. We need to round this up a little bit more. See how it's still square, but it's looking a little different. So we're going to take a little more off here. And you want to take all that rough stuff off, like this part. Because when you go to paint it, it's going to look funny. It's going to get darker. And that's what you don't want done. Alright. Hi, Heather. How are you? Another one from Canada. How you doing, kiddo? Forgive me if I go out of sight, out of focus, or out of line here, because for some reason I couldn't turn the camera the other way, and I should have tested it before I came on the air, but oh well, it's okay. All right, so there you go. Let's So once you get that pretty well where you want it, okay, now we're going to cut this down up on top. The hardest part and the longest part is doing the hat, because it takes quite a bit of And cutting across the grain is not always the easiest thing to do, but so, and then meanwhile, I'm going to round the top off a little bit. Here, there we go. I was on every Tuesday during COVID, and when COVID ended, well, before that, I actually did it every week, and I was running out of stuff to do, and it's very hard to come up with new projects. I will have my shop open this Christmas. It will be the first Saturday, all the Saturdays in December before Christmas. And I might even be open, you know. So if you're asking any questions, I may not always see it. So I'm just warning the new people that just joined us. So, all right, that's kind of what we want it to look like. Meanwhile, I'm going to try to take all that rough stuff off. Now, I've had a lot of fun the last couple of weeks. Never a dull moment, it seems. Still fussing with the hat. The hat's probably the most important portion of this. So once you get the hat in, doing the rest of it isn't so bad. I'm going to try to get that in a little further. Right there. Okay. I need to turn this camera a little bit to the other side here. Or move my seat down a little bit. There we go. All right. So, well, Jen, you know, I was supposed to go to Canada, but one of the cats outside kind of got me, so I went for some rabies shots, so that's why I couldn't go. I'm on my third shot tomorrow, so it's not a big deal getting them, but you have to go to an emergency room to get it, the shot itself. You can't get it at a urgent care or any place else. And when I talked to the doctor, I said, "Can I wait till I come back? I'm all packed, ready to go." He goes, "No." And I said, "Can I wait till tomorrow morning?" He said, "No." So I thought, okay. So that's what kind of fun I had this week, in the last couple of weeks. So, but you know, it's all right. You know what? Medical things are fine if they're fixable. And this was fixable. My hand earlier this year was fixable. So, you know, stuff that happens. No complaints, really, no complaints. At least you can get it done. All right, so I'm looking at this right now. It's a little on the rough side because it's kind of, I have to get used to doing this in front of the camera, and it's kind of in my way to see it. And but you'll get the idea of how to make one of these, I'm sure. So. Have I ever made a hockey stick player? I think I did years and years ago. I don't know if my brother-in-law Henry had it or I gave it to him. I really couldn't tell you. But no, I haven't made a hockey player. You know, that would be kind of interesting. Maybe I ought to try that with this, Rich. Somewhere along the line. So when you're doing your carrot, or the nose portion of it, you're going to take your blade. I'm going to use a smaller blade just to make it a little bit easier on me right now. Just take your blade and go straight. Like when you're looking at this, okay, you want to go straight in like this with the blade. You don't want to go like this You don't want to go like that, because if you go like this, you're going to be cutting into the nose. So you want to make sure you do it straight. So I'm going to go at the top here and just kind of go around and then go back up here and cut it. And then just kind of slide it out. Okay? And this takes some practice. If you don't get it the first time, that's fine. But same thing over here. I'm going to do it on this side here. Take it. And I don't like this autofocus because it goes out of focus when you move around. It takes a little bit of time for it to readjust. So I may have to do something different there. So, okay, so that's where the eyes are going to go. But we're going to go a lot deeper yet. We're not there yet. So I don't know why that's so thin. I wasn't paying attention here. I'm a little rusty, folks, being back online here. I'm sorry about that. I know many of you wondered if I was going to come back and do some of this, and I thought, hello from Brazil. Awesome. It's amazing where you can reach people with Facebook or just the internet in general. Now, one thing I always tell people is not to try to pull your cuts out. You know, if it doesn't come out the first time, you go back and recut it again, because that way you're not going to rip anything out. And so that's pretty well it there. I'm going to try to thin this side to make it match a little bit, because I don't like that. That's a little bit weird how I have that. And it's really thick back here, so I'm going to cut this down a little bit more so it kind of matches. But if I don't, it's okay. I'm just showing you how to make one of these. All right, so the feet are at the bottom. In fact, we're going to put part of the face in first. Okay, the face is just a little round, like a C. And I already have it on here like so. Right? And I thought, well, I don't want any arms. So what this is, it's a scarf. And he's sitting down, and it's a scarf. And I have a little bit in the back that this is also the scarf. You do not have to put that in if you don't want to. I thought it would just be something a little extra to do on this piece. You know, and I do these things kind of out of my head. So let me rest this arm a little differently. Okay. Now, so we have that. We have the feet coming here. Okay. So there's one, and here's the other. My online store is not updated. I will have to go back to that and do that. If you are interested in any of the knives that I have, you can text me at 484-364-0471 or message me on Facebook. I don't go too much into my my email anymore, but I do check it from time to time. So let's go with this, and we're going to take our V tool again. And a V tool is really a nice tool. You see how it's a V shape, and they are a little hard to sharpen, I will say that. I do have some of these that I do sell, but it's been a while. I have to see what I have left. I haven't really filled anything up since 3 years ago. I was just selling what I had. Okay, so that's a little further than I like. So we're going to go up a little further here. There we go. All right. So now you're going to follow this with your knife again. You're just going to do a nice little V cut with your knife. And this way. That should pop out. All right. And then same thing over on this side. Hello, Shelley from New Jersey. Alright, so what I want to do is just round this up a little bit, get all this rough stuff off, and try to bring this down a little bit. There we go, just like so. And this is the same thing, we're just going to round this off a little bit. These don't take too long to do if you're doing a ornament. This is the ornament style that I'm doing right now. And yeah. Now, all this rough stuff that you see, that has to come off. You have to kind of just go with it and just cut it out. I will put this on YouTube later, so you can watch it there if you like to. Yes, you are rich. I forgot that you're in New Jersey. Yes. I actually came from Clinton, New Jersey, or Annandale. We lived there in 1976. And then Dad bought a farm out here, and we live out here. So this is where we ended up, in Honeybrook, PA. Not a bad town. I do like the town. Okay, so we're going to take all that rough stuff off. Round this up a little bit more. And I like to look at, when I look at this hat, I like to see a little bit of a curved in look, not just straight across. You can tell it's a little bit of a curve there. So what we do is just go up here and dig it out a little bit. That's all. All the way to the back and close to the front. I like the ones with the top hat. They make a nice looking snowman for sure. Yes, Jim. Say hi to Beth for me if you would. Hope you guys are doing fine. Whoops. I'm gonna try to get that where I can see it. There we go. So right here, you want to make it a little bit deeper, right underneath the hat, and you want to take it in a little bit. You just don't want to leave it like this. Notice it looks like it's going inward. I think next week I'm going to paint this one. I'll paint this one ahead of time so you can see what it looks like. And then I'll show you, give you some of the little secrets I have on painting and how not to bleed colors into each other and stuff. So we'll do that next Tuesday. I think that will suit me yet. So, okay, see the little indentation we have there? That's exactly what we want. So, let's go over here and cut this out a little bit more. Just a little bit more. And, yeah. We're going to make this a little bit smaller too. I would say put on a glove and a thumb guard if you're new to carving, but that's up to you. It's like wearing a helmet in Pennsylvania. You can choose to wear a helmet for motorcycles or you don't have to. It is not the law here that you have to. So we're going to take these little hard edges off. There we go. Take that one off. This was a lot thicker back here. Maybe we can make that a little smaller. There we go. And I do not like that. I don't like the focus on this camera. I'm going to have to work on that before I do anything next time. Plus, I can't do it. I can't switch my camera over to landscape. I have no idea what this is going to look like online when I put it on to YouTube later on. And it will be on YouTube, so you can follow it there later on. Or I'll leave it up on my Facebook page for a while. Alright, so that's what we have right now. So that looks pretty good. We'll just go with that for now. All right. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to go kind of deep. I think I already did that, but let's see if I did it deep enough. Part of the secret of doing it deep enough is when you go to paint, and that will keep it from bleeding from one side to the other. You know, and I'll show you that next week, how that works. Works out pretty well. So let's. All right, so we're going to round this off a little bit more. So we're going to put the happy face on here. All right, the other thing we also do on this thing, if you can see this, it's this little band that goes across the hat. It takes a little bit of time, but this is the little berry with the green on the hat itself. So all you do with that is pretty simple. I do the whole thing. I go around the whole, like maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. And I go around the whole outside. I mean, I follow the brim of the hat, right? So I'm going to have to bring that down a little bit more. And that way you can kind of keep it even when you're following the hat. Okay, so right here, what I do is I put a little block there and a little block there. And then I kind of make some, whatever you want there, you know, wiggly lines. And then I just kind of make a circle there and there. And that's going to be that little bead portion that we have here, okay? And the little greenery that comes out. I'm trying a new microphone, the same microphone I use at the church. When I do their taping, and it seems to work really well. It picks up very well. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, so once I get that done, and I've got to do something different with the back here for a second. Just bear with me for a minute. Okay, we're just gonna kind of smooth this out a little bit. Let me take this back out and spray. What I'm using for a spray is this bottle here, and it's filled with half water and half rubbing alcohol, 70%. And what that does, it just softens up the wood, but it dries it out a little quicker. You can have checks, or what they call cracks, once you do that, but it doesn't mean it always happens. I would say out of 100 pieces, I might have 3 that does it. And if it cracks, you just let it sit for a couple of weeks, and sometimes it dries on the inside and it'll be okay. So, no worries. So, hi Lori. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the V-tool again, and we're going to follow this all the way around. You know, just all the way around. That's my table squeaking. We're going to just keep following this out a little bit. Until we get all the way to the top here. That must be the wrong one. Is that the wrong one? Yeah, it's the wrong one. Let's get the other one. There you go. Amazing how a tool can make such a difference if it's sharp enough or not. Alright, so here, before we go any further, here, we're going to just go ahead and make little slots in here. Let's see if I can take the knife and do it that way. Okay, so I'm gonna do it back here because I can't see it. So I'll explain to you what I do in a second here. Sorry about that, folks. I'm still here. It's just a matter of making it easier for me. Because I want to make sure I don't cut anything out that I'm not supposed to. Okay. Almost done here. All right. So, see what I did there? It's, all right. So, I actually cut little V cuts in there and then went back with my knife to clean it up. There we go. There's one. So you can see from that angle kind of what I did there. So, and then these little, this here, we're going to just cut this out a little bit. There and there. We're just going to round it a little bit. And then we're going to cut from this side out. Like so. It's really a small, you know, it's amazing what a little cut can do on this. So just, then you round it off a little bit as well. And then you do one in the center yet, so it looks like there's one on top of the other. And that works out pretty good. All right, so, and then what I do later is I round this up a little bit. I go back over this cut that I did with the V tool, and I'll go all the way around. And, you know, a lot of people try to push the knife in so far that they only have to do one cut. Do it twice. It's a lot safer if you don't put as much pressure into it. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go back the other way and you're just going to kind of blend that in. You want that to stick out a little bit. So you're going to go all the way around and just kind of recut it. Because that defines it when you go back and cut it a second time. Alright. Thank you, Warren. It's good to be back. It really is. I look forward to a nice Christmas season. I don't have as much as I usually do, but I have some. I have like 25 to 30 pieces I have to paint, and I need to get going on those before long, and all that. So I'll be back next week. We'll do another segment on this. We'll finish it with painting it and stuff, and okay, so that's kind of what you're doing, is just kind of blending the hat so it looks like it's going underneath that that band. It's around the top of that. Okay, you see how that's done. And I'll go back and clean everything up. I'm just trying to do this a little quicker so you're not here for 3 hours. So this little thing here, I just take this and I just put a couple little shots in, just like so. Take my knife and I won't rip those out, I'll just kind of pop them out. Okay, see how that looks? Alright, you can add a couple more in different directions if you want, like to the side, but I think that's pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect, for sure. So I'm going to take these edges off here in a second. So that's pretty well the hat portion, other than finishing up this portion of it. They always look a little different, especially when you're doing it in front of the camera that you can't really see it. So, yeah. I'm trying to see what else I could do here. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do, let me pull this thing up. It's bothering me here, resting it on this. Okay, so we have that done. I'm taking a look how deep. The eyes aren't really super deep on that one, but we're going to have to put some eyes in here. So I do like a half a circle over here, okay? And one over here. And then we take our knife. I don't use the V tool for this. I take my knife and I just follow that line. And then what I do is I go from the inside of the eye with the tip and I pop it out just like so. Same thing over here. I put it in pretty deep. That way when you go back and cut it, it pops right out. Now this nose is kind of out in the way a little bit, so we'll cut that off. Yeah, we'll pop that out a little bit. So that's the carrot nose. Now I usually do the bottom a little bit as well, but the eyes aren't that difficult. People make it more difficult than it has to be. It's pretty simple to do the eyes. And some people really get into the intricate part of putting eyelids in and all that. I don't do that with my stuff. I like to get it done the same night, the same hour or the same night for the most part. So, all right. So that's how you put the eyes in. I'm going to clean this up. When I get offline here, I'll probably clean it up quite a bit because there's little pieces here and there that I need to cut out and all that. So let's see here. So that eye is in, that eye is in. Okay. It's a little deeper than I like, but it's okay. All right, so what do I do for the face? It's fairly simple. I just put a little, like a cheek thing there on both sides. Oh, that looks really off. Looking through the camera, that looked really off. So let's see if I can bring it up a little further. Okay, and then what I do is I just put a little smiley face on it. All right, so I'll take my V tool again, and I'll make it more distinct with the knife, a little deeper with the knife, so it looks a little bit better. Right here, you just want to make a little swipe up and up. Yep, that's all you need to do. And that, let me get rid of that one portion here. And you kind of try to make that corner just a tad deeper. Not by much. Let's see if I can get that down a little bit better. There you go. See, you can see it a lot better now. And then I do the same thing with the rest of it. It's just a V cut with your knife. That's it. Yes, Rich, I do have my, the cardinal is, you mean the small cardinal or the real elaborate one? They're all on YouTube. All you'd have to do is go to my channel and put in cardinal and they should pop up. I've done quite a few of the small cardinals, the caricature type, the small ones about this size, and they work out really, really nice. Yeah, that's online. All you have to do is look it up. If you don't find it, let me know. Text me, and I will send you a link. The nice thing about the snowmen, you can leave them out a little longer than Christmas during winter. It depends how you want to paint them. If you want to paint them, sometimes I always paint it black and blue here, blue on here, and then red and green, and then I paint that an orange, and then the eyeballs the way they're supposed to be done. Something doesn't look right with the eyes. Yeah, they're okay. And then white, and then it's going to be the scarf. The scarf you can make, if you want more of a Christmassy color, you just do it white with little red with a little bit of white specks for snow, or you can make it blue, like a light blue, and you can leave it up all winter. But either way. Okay, so let's do the feet here. And what I'm going to do is use this again. I love my little D tool. I never liked it years ago because I found it so difficult to sharpen up. But, yeah, works out really well now. I'm going to need some practice to get back on how to stay in focus and all that. So I'm going to have some experimentation later today and see if I can get that to work like it should. Now, the shoes in the back here, what I often do is I just take my knife and I take it a little bit at an angle and just cut a big V cut out, just like so. And there's your shoe. Okay, same here. You know, you just push it in from the other side, and it's in. So that works out really, really well. And there's the two shoes, right? So there's a lot more to do to them yet, but that's how I put my shoes in. And I want to thank those of you that have commented on Facebook about the knife that I fix up and resell. I had one guy, he was a little bit obnoxious. He was saying that, you know, why was mine it's so expensive and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, it takes me time. You're paying for my time and my expertise to sharpen. That's what you're paying for. And also I have to ship it, I have to pay tax on it and fees and all the rest. So it's just not, you know, and the cost of the knife and the shipping of the knife to me, it all costs money. Everything costs money. The tools that I use to sharpen cost money. So, you know, I figured, you know, no, I'm not forcing anybody to buy it. You know, either you want it or you don't want it. It's either way is okay. But I want to thank those of you that gave a nice review. I'm glad that you're happy with your knives. I don't think I've had anybody that was disappointed with them so far, anyway. But I thank you for the encouragement and the you know, and the nice words about it. So I'm going to cut the shoes out here, and then thank you very much, Lori. I appreciate you saying that. And one person asked, well, are they shiny? Well, you're going to see imperfections in it. I'm not into make it into a glossy mirror. I will shine it up for it to work. It doesn't leave here unless I'm very happy with how it cuts. You should be able to take it right out and hi, Joanne. Yeah, I am. The whole idea is that you can take your knives with you. There's a lot of places that sell knives and sell, if you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend a pocket knife to start. I would wait till I had a good handle on using a knife. And then from there, you know, then you can go to a pocket knife. These are not lock blades. That's the only thing if you use it, it's at your own risk when you use it. But I've never had one close on me at all. I had one fly out of my hand the other day that actually snapped off one of these, and the rotation was going in the wrong direction, and it cut right into the leather wheel, and it snapped it. Thank goodness it didn't hit me in the face. I would have been not happy with that. So anyway, so that's what you're doing here. Now right here I kind of make it a little deeper, so I'm going to just cut this out a little bit more right here. Yes, Richard, I remember. Thank you. You know, I still use mine. I have a bunch of them, of course. I have different ones here. You know, and as I sharpen them up, I try them for a little bit to make sure they're working. Or, you know, I have wood here that I test everything on. And it works out really well. But that's it. You don't find pocket knives that are ready to, you know, ready to carve. And that you can take them along. That was the whole point of that. There are some out there, and I won't name the businesses, but they're way too thick. This is as thick as I want to go with this. So, you know. And this is a red, white, and blue. It just happened to be that way, and it caught my eye. And I thought, I'm going to see if that will work as a nice knife. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 blades in that one that are carving blades. So. Alright, so there's the front of it. What we do here is we just put a little heel in the boot. And I always measure by placing this and then going across. It's going to be the same thing, right? So, I would like to do classes here at the farm again eventually. I'm thinking maybe in January sometime if the weather isn't horrible. We'll wait and see about that. So what I want to do with this hat is I want to take all this rough stuff off, okay? And I want to round this little corner here a little bit. Round it one way and the other. There we go. That hat got messed up a little bit, but it will still work. It's not a lost cause. So yeah. You can always call me if you have any questions about the knives. They are Rough Rider knives, so well, thank you, Richard. I remember you being here. I have a smaller version of the pine cone. I might do that one night, you know. But we're getting closer to Christmas now. It's like you can't start this stuff now to try to make a bunch of them for Christmas unless you're just making a few for family and friends, that kind of thing. But just go back. Now here in the back, what I'm doing is I'm cutting this out again. And right here, you want to do a little triangular cut. What I mean by that is that right there. Okay. I'm not going to add the extra. If you want to, I wasn't real happy with that after I realized what I had done. I'll paint it up and see what it looks like. But oh, hi Sandy, welcome back. Another Canadian. I love it. I love Canada. No matter what they say on the news, I love Canada. So anyway, so let's turn that around. I'm trying to get all these hard edges off and stuff. Let's see. All this has to come off. So what we're going to do here is I did a little triangular cut here. We're going to put another one over here. And 1 and 2. And we're going to just cut that out. Maybe not deep enough. Alright, so this is the shoe. We're going to bring this in just a tiny bit so it doesn't look square. Just a little bit here. Okay. And then back to my V-tool. Maybe I ought to have a class up in Canada. I'm sure my sister would accommodate me if I wanted to do that. I think that would be fun. I don't know if Jan's still carving or not up in Canada. I don't know that. I know he lost his wife, Jan Ugama, and he wasn't too far from where my sister lived. He lived in Bowmanville. And oh, Jen, are you going to join us? LOL. I thought of that before. You know, I'm up there quite a bit now. This year would have been 3 times this year I was up there. But, I guess that's a no, Jen, right? Okay, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm talking to people. This is a live broadcast on Facebook. So, and I'm answering questions as people ask. Yeah, my wrist is getting better. Those of you that didn't know, I broke it back in the end of May. The middle of August, it was May, June, July, August. Yeah, about 12 weeks later, I got the cast off. Not the cast, but the splint. I was fortunate, no surgery and no PT, which is great. So we're going to do this portion here of the, it's going to be a 1, 2 little V's. Okay, and then we're going to go up here and we're going to put a line here to separate that. So what we do is we take our little V tool and we go straight up like that, straight down, and then I actually cut that out with a knife. So we're going to take our knife and we're just going to cut this out by hand. And what you do is always stick it in the furthest part, you know, outward. That usually works pretty good. I just may have to do that. It's just finding out where and how far people are apart. I'm near, it would be near Newtonville, Ontario. Coalburg, that area. I'm going to redefine that line a little bit more. A lot of Canadians on tonight. Love it. I'll have to do a couple classes on sharpening, and instead of just carving all the time, since I'm running out of ideas, we can do that. We can do, next week will be how to paint these. They'll be very short. I might have a short little, I'm not sure, I might have a small little project we can do with that. And then I'll show you how to sharpen with some of the new tools I've gotten, and that might help you folks out. Okay, so I'm going to take the V tool again, and we're just going to kind of make little grooves here. Alright, so we have like a little tassel type thing. Okay, so this is not his arm, this is going to be the scarf. Okay, we've got the, okay, so what the other thing I do is I put a little V cut there to separate the sole from the shoe. Do the same thing over here. And let's see what else needs to be done. It looks like it's going to be finished here. Any other questions, folks? This is a piece of what I used is a 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch by 2.5 inches tall basswood. Okay, so that's what I use. So yeah, I think so many people have a hard time, and if you ask 10 different carvers how to sharpen tools, you'll get 10 different answers. Now I'm going to round the bottom off a little bit here. Forgot to do that. And so if you're interested in that, I know there's some people that do Zoom classes. I've been doing them for free. I don't want to charge anything for it unless you're here or in person. You know, I want people to enjoy it. So if you decide that you want to do a Zoom meeting or something like that, be interested in something like that for something that's a little more intricate than what these are, fine. But I really enjoy doing these smaller ones. But I will do a sharpening class. I think that might be, and explain to you what some of the secrets are in sharpening. A lot of people have a very difficult time doing that. And to get, even for me, it takes me a while to get these blades done. I usually cut this portion off a little bit, depending how long it is. And then, you know, and there is a shine, but you see imperfections in it. And that's usually what happens when you sharpen these by hand. See, there's a lot of imperfections, but the blade itself works just fine. So you're not going to get a mirror look. Some of it might be that way. So anyway, if you are, I'll show you what this, we're done with this. I'm pretty sure we're finished with that. So that's the second one. I was looking through the camera trying to reach something. It wasn't right. Okay. So there you go. There's two. I've got to clean this one up a little bit more, but I think it worked out pretty well. And it took us a little over an hour to do it. So that's not bad at all. It worked out really, really well. I'll probably put this on Facebook eventually. I mean on YouTube. I have to figure out how to do that. I kind of forgot how to do all this stuff since I've been out of it for a while. If you're interested in any of the knives, you're more than welcome to contact me. And this one has, I said it had 4, so let me see if I can pull these out. I'm going to do it back here. It's safer. And I'll show you what they look like. Hang on just a second. There we go. Oh, they have a little bit of a spring to it, so you've got to be careful with these. Okay, this is how many knives are on this puppy. And I saw it there and I thought, oh, that'd be great. So this one is not being used for carving. This one is, that one, and that one. There's 4 on that one. There's 2 on these, as you know. And let me know. These are limited. I only have, I don't know, maybe 10 of these that I ordered. They do cost me more to get because they're bigger, and it's a little stock here. So Yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed that little sitting snowman. And we'll come back next week and we'll finish up painting him. And then we'll do maybe a couple of evenings or just an evening on sharpening and different types of sharpening. And I think that would be helpful. Okay, take care, folks. Thanks for joining me here at the Carver's Woodshop. And thank you all you Canadians that watched me. That's awesome. And people from Michigan, not Michigan, New Jersey, and from Brazil. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, folks.